Hey everybody, it's the Monday Maudcast. Ooh, my hair looks a little crazy today, y'all. It is the last Maudcast of the year. Hi Sarah, how are you? Hope everybody is doing great. I am very excited. I have a very special guest. Some of you guys may have met her before. Some of you might know her. It's my mom. Hey. Hi, Naja. Hi, Leah. Hi, Alex. Hey, everybody. Hey, Ronisha. Super excited. You know, Alex, it's the last Maudcast of the year, so I was feeling very festive. It's also Ben Williams' show after this, which I'm the host of, the virtual host of, and that's coming next. So, I was like, let me get living room ready for this. Hi, Timothy. Hey, Ice. Hey, Nigeria. You're up late. I'm just going to put in what we're doing here. I don't see my mom yet. Hi, Jade. I miss you. Let's just, this is my mom's IG Live debut. LOL Philly. Hi, Emma. This is my mom's first Instagram Live. So, let's we did a walkthrough. Oh, I see her. Mom, I'm requesting you now. Do you see that, Mom? I requested you. I'm waiting for you. Hey, Anissa. Mom, Anissa came. Everybody came. Latifah. Hey, look at my mom on Instagram Live. Hello. Everybody give her a round of applause for joining Instagram Live properly. Hello.
It's my first.
How are you doing, Mom?
I'm fantastic. I'm really excited, and I'm very, very touched that you have me on.
Well, thank you very much for being my last guest of 2020. I thought that it would be really cool to end the year with you because, well, you've known me the longest of anybody in the world. And joy is something that I feel like has always been a part of my life, even when we had hard times. And so I felt like this is a great, just a great way to end the year and begin the year, to give people tips and things to think about moving forward. So Mom, something that I feel like has always been a part something of is coming through my speaker. Hold on. That's really weird. This is a great
we must be channeling somebody else.
Chloe is connected to the Bluetooth speaker in my living room and must be watching it from her apartment. And that is why we heard it coming through. If you didn't know, Chloe and I are neighbors, and we live so close to each other that we can clearly toggle on each other's Bluetooth. Anyways, so Mom, for the Maudcast, I try to wear something that is significant to my guests. So today I have on my Eiffel Tower earrings.
Wow, nice.
So everybody, my mom is from France. She's from Paris. I'm going to give you like a little bio, Mom, and then you can tell people about yourself. So everybody, my mom is from France. She's from Paris. She has also lived, obviously, in Washington, D.C., where we are from. She is an educator. She has taught kids for years, young people, and definitely saved young people's lives through education and through care and through seeing kids who are oftentimes not seen. And now she is a simultaneous interpreter from French to English and English to French. But my mom has also had a million jobs. She's been a documentary filmmaker, an actress, a dancer, a producer of events, a film editor, a landscaper. Am I missing anything? A tutor, French tutor, a waitress. My mom hustles. She gets it done.
A caretaker for a college student.
Oh yeah, she was a caretaker for a college student who was in a wheelchair. She's done everything, okay, y'all? She gets it done. So, Mom, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your upbringing, France, how did you come to America, all that good stuff?
Well, let's see. I grew up mostly in Europe and also in Washington, D.C. Um, but I think my formative years um, was my adolescence in Paris and in the countryside around Paris, because that's when I really dove into the arts full-fledged. Um, I was a dancer, trained in classic, but then I discovered modern dance at age 15, and that completely opened my eyes and excited me tremendously. And I had fabulous experiences. I got to do a special happening. We used to do happenings in the 60s, 70s.
What's a happening? Is that like a party?
Art happenings were kind of like the closest thing to today would be pop-up.
Okay, okay.
And flash mobs, the sort of spontaneous, but with some planning kind of event where it's a combination. So there's a very famous modern dancer called Meredith Monk, and she had managed to get the Smithsonian Institution to open up their Museum of Natural History, where there are all the big, huge dinosaur bones and skeletons, and a huge rendition of a mammoth elephant from thousands of years ago. And she had put together this, we used that whole space and we incorporated this dance and to do that. And I remember in order to do it, I had to miss 3 days of school. I was a junior in high school. And that was I had a fight with my dad about it because he said, "You're not missing school." And I said, "I'm not missing this event." So,
is that why you used to let me miss school sometimes for dance events?
probably because I remember those things. I know how important they are and how important they mark you for life. And you can always make up schoolwork, you know. I mean, if you have, okay, kids,
Says the mother of 3 children who all went to Ivy League, guys. Just to clarify, she didn't let us slack. She saw the importance and made discernment and good decisions.
Yes, you have to. I think you have to have discipline and you have to have structure, but you have to know when you can ease up and open windows and let new ideas in and out. So
I love that. So, Mom, for you, because for me growing up, even though, we had some tumultuous times, I only remember being joyful. So my question is, when you were growing up, was it joyful? Was joy even like a concept for you? And if not, how did that change in like raising us and raising me?
That's I have to think on that. I mean, that's a big question. My memories of me as a child are having I enjoyed retreating into my inner world. And sort of and I think that's where I was most at peace. The outer world, I was fortunate to be exposed to a lot of countryside throughout France, and it's all beautiful. So that was very formative in the sense that very early on, I was exposed to things that are beautiful. And that are beautiful for all the senses. Taste, I mean, the food's amazing. Visually, it's a beautiful country. Sounds, well, French music is not the best, okay.
Yes, know your strengths, know your country's strengths.
Dance and music, it's not homegrown in France, okay?
That's funny.
except for a few like solo singers and composers like Michel Legrand, and of course Chopin was French, but he was Polish before he was French. So anyway, but all of the arts, and I was saying as a teenager, I was reading voraciously French literature, and then I was I knew American literature because of that one year I spent in America as a junior in high school. And I was sharing that with my friends. And we used to go to the Cinematheque, which was like the AFI, American Film Institute here, but it's been there forever. And you could, on weekends, go to see showings for 1 franc, which was like 20 cents.
The good old days, hey.
I mean, movies at that time were probably about $4 or something, but this was a government subsidized.
Oh, government subsidized. Nice.
Yeah. And, you know, the films were phenomenal that they would show. They had saved all of the films from the 30s to the 40s, 50s, 60s, and they were showing amazing films. And my girlfriend and I used to go. She was my partner in arts and crime. We were both small, and we would kind of scoot down, and it was always crowded, and not everybody could get in. I have to say, yeah, we cut lines a few times.
Guys, if you
sorry.
Oh, guys, by the way, my mom had me cut a line at 17. We didn't cut a line. We pushed to the front at a Pharrell concert. Remember that?
Oh, well, that was once we were inside the venue.
Yeah, well, that's what. Once we were inside the venue, my mom was like, we are going to the front. And I was like, oh my God, why is she so gangster? We're like pushing past her.
No, but we were like really gentle. We weren't nudging anybody.
We were, but
no.
you were determined.
I don't remember that.
Oh, I remember because we made it to the front row.
Anyway, I don't want to like be a bad example here to all your students.
No, you're a great example.
Okay. So,
and people appreciate the honesty, Mom.
Rules are good. Rules are good and rules are important, but sometimes you can, do a little bit of massaging fluidity within it. So, and then if you get pushed back, then you say, okay, sorry, you get back to where you're supposed to be.
Exactly.
So
you were saying, okay, so as a child, you really retreated to self, and then you found joy in the arts as a teenager.
I found joy. I mean, Beth definitely had joy in dance. That was the ultimate, and that was within myself because it was me dancing, and then I found joy. Okay, I found joy I learned to appreciate the arts and enjoy the arts. But I think that my joy comes from beauty. And beauty? Yeah. Beauty does not mean, the perfection and anything. Beauty is something you feel inside you when you hear it or see it or inhale it and it just makes me feel very joyful, very alive, I think it was Asada who posted a picture of her in front of a big, huge mural last week that had a quote, we have to remember we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Mm-hmm. And that was a quote that I learned when I was doing my Kundalini yoga teaching class. And I always have kept that in mind. And I'm bringing that up because I feel that when you see and when you experience beauty, I think it's a convergence of our spiritual selves and our sentient selves, which is our human selves, the ones sentient from feeling, from the senses. And I think that the convergence of the two sparks an amazing joy within. And also, I think it's very tied into, beauty is also very tied into a sense of wonder. You know how children see everything for the first time and everything's wonderful? And I think that it's tied into a sense of wonder at just the pure joy of experiencing something that's just so wondrous. And it could be a tiny little thing, like a little flower growing through a concrete.
What's the last time you experienced that beauty?
I experience it a lot. Um, the
So
last time,
tell us how you find that, because like, you know, we're in lockdown right
yeah.
now. You can't do a lot. My mom also helps take care of my grandma who's 98, so my mom can't be gallivanting around at every museum, etc. So how are you able to find the beauty, thus finding the joy for yourself?
Okay. I love walking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a walker. I'm not a
Oh
runner.
yeah, my mom is a walker.
I'm
Yes.
a walker.
Chloe will, yes, walk, walk, walk. Yes.
I rarely, if I can walk, I won't drive. If there's any, and the car will just sit there. So I'm a walker.
Facts. By
It's
the way,
because
mom, Chloe has become a walker. She'll never admit it, but she has become you slowly.
I love
She's
it.
like, I need to go take a walk. I'm like, okay, mommy.
She doesn't know it, but she becomes more and more like me.
Yes.
I know you're listening, Chloe. Sorry, but it is anyway. So when I take walks, I'm fortunate to live in a neighborhood with a lot of greenery and parks and so forth. And at any time, sometimes I'll just notice, I'll start posting more pictures so people can see what I'm seeing.
Yes.
But it could just be a little clump of leaves that are growing near, like those flowers pushing through that fence that I posted the other day. It
Mm-hmm.
just strikes me, and I'm compelled to take a picture because it just strikes, not always take a picture, but often I try to
Mm-hmm.
capture it. Because then when I look back at my pictures, it brings back that sense of joy and wonder. And um, um, I actually made a calendar for my mom for Christmas of my own photographs
Oh, you
because
didn't
she's
tell me
been
that.
with Aya, because she's been telling me you take beautiful pictures. You should make a book. You should
I
make
is
a
the
book.
great encourager.
Yeah. And so I made a calendar for her with some of my
Did she like
nice.
it?
She loved it. She loves it. She loves it.
Well, do you think that you get that from Aya? Because I remember growing up, we would like we would go get leaves. Remember, we would do dry leaves and we would have a book and they would like, we would flatten them in the book and then write the name of the leaf under it. And then Aya does her little leaf and flower cards that she
Oh
photocopies.
yeah.
Do you think you got that from Aya?
I think I got part of it from her, and I think a lot of that she developed later in life also,
Mm-hmm.
or had the time to explore those things later, maybe.
Gotcha.
Um, so back to, though there were some things I wanted to touch upon in terms of beauties, because I do want to be able to explain and share what that means. Um,
I mean, I thought you explained it well.
but it's not always visual. So, sometimes seeing an act of kindness or
Mm.
seeing something where, especially if where somebody feels joy and you can see it, or they're happy, and there's beauty in that, beauty and wonder. Music does that to me. Oh my gosh, music. Um,
Guys, growing up, my mom blasted Maxi Priest. What else, Chloe? Put in the chat. I am a Sade fan because of my mom. Remember, oh my God, my mom used to gas my head up when I was little because my hair was really long. And if I got it straight, she'd be like, you look like Sade. So I would go to school and tell people that I looked like Sade.
you did look like Sade.
I did not look like Sade. I
No,
wish.
I have a picture of you looking I have a picture of you looking a lot like Sade.
Chloe said you used to blast Shabba Ranks too. So
Oh
anybody who
yeah,
knows our love for dance hall, you can
Shaba,
thank
Shaba.
our mom because she loves Shabba Ranks and Sade. And I remember my mom would go, I remember she went to see Sade perform. And I remember you came back and you were like, and she was barefoot and she was just like floating across the stage. I can't even remember this. You
I
went to
can't
Wolf
believe you
Trap.
remember that.
I
Wow.
remember these things very well, Mom. It's kind of crazy.
I felt she was trying. I felt I was she. Like I could
Yes,
feel
you
I
thought
was
she was
her
like
on
your
stage.
kindred spirit in that moment.
Yeah, very much.
So, Mom, I have a question for you. So then, you know, you have three children. Woohoo, so joyful. Since
Very
this is
much.
the Maudcast and Chloe can interview you one day and have you talk
Yeah.
about her, People often ask me, Mom, like, I get DMs sometimes, like, is that fake? Are you really this happy? Like, is this just for Instagram? Blah, 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 blah. And I say, no, it's real. Like, I've always been like this. Like, as far back as I can remember, I've always felt happy. So can you talk to that? Because you had me as a child. I also was 3 weeks late. So my mom carried me extra long. And my mom got fired while she was pregnant with me from her job. Tell us a little bit about that.
I was working, that's another job I had, in an Yves Saint Laurent boutique. And anyway, the manager, who was a very young, beautiful woman, I don't know why, but she decided she needed to put me on night shifts. And I said, I cannot do night shifts. And so when I came into work the next week, I saw I had been completely written off the schedule. And that was that. But I was about a week, maybe 2 weeks before you were born, and guess who got to collect unemployment for a little while?
Hello. So it was all meant to be.
It was all meant to be. What was the question? Oh,
so I was, and also, Mom, I was born with a midwife, right?
yes.
So can you
Yes.
talk about that? What was that choice? Because that was very much ahead of its time, I feel like.
I wanted to have a midwife, and I wasn't really quite ready to have an at-home birth, even though the idea appealed to me. But, medically and for safety, I mean, it's a little silly. So, but I wanted a midwife. Oh, I know why. The obstetrician who delivered Chloe and Tadeo was uh, retired.
Oh.
So I decided, instead of getting a new doctor, I wanted to get a midwife.
That's so cool. And then, so since I was 3 weeks late, what did that mean for you at that time?
Um,
Because like my friend right now is pregnant and she's going into like a little bit over, and they're like, we're gonna have to induce. And I told her, I said, my mom waited like 3 weeks, but I don't know if they let you do that anymore.
I was lucky because they didn't induce as readily back then as they do now. And so that gave me leeway. They were going to induce me the day after you were born, actually. So you came right on time.
So basically, this is why I procrastinate in life.
That would be why.
That's hilarious. And how much did I weigh?
9'4".
Oh wow.
9'5", I forgot. 9'4".
That's a big baby. And so, Mom, I remember one thing when I was a child, and it was like I was little, and I would just like, it was called like naked time, and I just ran around the house naked. And I would like to say, what I remember as a child, and I kind of talked about this in my TEDx talk last month, is that all the absurd ideas and things that I wanted to do, you never said no. But I wasn't like disrespectful or rude. So how do you find that balance as a parent to allow your child to be joyful, but not have them be like little spoiled brats?
Huh. I mean, you let kids explore their fantasies if it's not going to hurt anything or anyone, but then you kind of offer alternatives if they have ideas that aren't the best. Like you went through a period of, I have an idea, and you're like, I have an idea, I'm going to feed my apple juice to all the plants, and I was like, I had to talk you out of that one. There were moments, if you recall, where I had to come down pretty hard.
Yes.
Yeah. So the most important thing to me was maintaining trust with you guys. And
me and Chloe have only lied to our mother once in our lives. And I'm not never sure again.
At least, Yeah.
Years ago,
But,
guys, years ago. Never
yeah.
again. I
Yeah.
think trust is important, but how do you feel like you, as a child, I can kind of assess it how I think it was effective, but as a parent approaching it, because we have a lot of parents on here, how do you feel like you were able to create that trust back and forth?
I think one way is to let children know that if the truth they have to tell is not to the parent's liking, that you can kind of talk it out rather than be angry about it. Uh, and I think if you explain ahead of times why you want things to go one way or the other, that's helpful. I think it's really important to let your kids know that that inner voice that we each have inside of us is really important. And it helps kids know, it helps to push back peer pressure and those things, because if that little inner voice pops up, a little red flag, to encourage you to listen to it or to share with your parents if there's
Mm-hmm.
a conflict there. Um, I don't know. I think I was fairly strict,
I did,
somewhat
Chloe.
strict, huh?
No, Chloe just said something.
Uh,
You said you feel like
I
you were fairly strict. I don't know. I wouldn't
I
say
think
strict.
okay. I don't think I was strict. I think I had guidelines.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of understood, and something that we used to do, if you remember, if I felt things were getting out of hand and I was losing the control that I wanted to have over the directions you were taking and how things were going, it could be something as simple as the chores not being done, or it could be like maybe somebody's like taking a little bit too much freedom here or whatever. We used to call family meetings pretty regularly.
Well, it's funny because
Where,
Lenny, your favorite new friend, Lenny mom, just asked what's a
yes.
parenting tip. Sorry, what's a parenting tip? So Lenny, family meetings. So talk about, I remember these family meetings, mom. Tell us, talk about them.
They were pretty democratically run. So it wasn't like me, the parent, running the show. But I would, since I was calling the meeting, I mean, I don't think you kids ever call the meeting, but, because since I was calling the meeting, I got to put out there what was concerning me and why I was calling it. And then everybody had a chance to talk about it and so forth, and to give their 2 cents and to explain why. And we found solutions and ways that we could maybe work things out differently where everybody would be more comfortable.
Chloe said also we got our phones taken away. The phone cord and the TV. Y'all, if
Oh,
I was bad,
I was
I
going to wait a minute, time out. We're not talking cell phones, people. We're talking landlines. Okay, landline.
our mom would come and take that cord and wrap it up. And then I remember once I was in trouble. My favorite TV show was Sister Sister. Remember that show, mom? And she was like, "You are not allowed to watch TV." Blah 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 blah. I said, "Okay, fine." But I got home before my mom before she got home from work, and I was like watching the TV, and I was watching the TV like really close, so I could just like turn it off when she came because the remote didn't work. So I heard her coming in. I turn it off. I go pretend like I'm reading a book. My mom's like, "Did you watch TV?" I was like, "No." She went and touched the back of the TV, y'all. It was hot, and she knew I was lying. Y'all, I
Let
was
me
in
just
trouble
say,
again.
let me
I
just
was
say
in
there was
trouble.
no remote. There
There
was
was
no
no
remote.
remote. We had to pull out TV with the thing. And then yep, Alex, she knew the TV was hot, grounded again. Again.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's funny to remember.
The hot TV trick was a great trick to
I do
remember.
want to,
Oh, guys, my mom
yeah,
came to the
I do want
Maudcast
to
today
touch,
with notes. Tell
yeah,
us
I do
about your
want to,
notes.
yeah, notes.
So, guys, just so you guys know, my mom is highly intelligent. She basically can answer any question you want to know. I learned the word procrastinate when I was like 6 or 7. because I didn't like to go to bed. So they made me look up the word procrastinate. So I knew that word when I was like an infant child, procrastinating. We used to have encyclopedias at the house.
Oh,
Lenny, smart guy, was the bomb.
We did
What,
have
Mom?
a set of we did have a set of world books, man.
We had a set of world books. We sure did. So my mom brought her own notes to the Maudcast because I guess she can take such authority because she did birth me. So what are your notes, Mom?
Well, what I was about to mention is that in talking about joy,
Oh, excuse
I
me,
do
Mom.
want to
Somebody said, Maud, I thought you said you only lied one time.
I know. I was
only,
thinking the same thing.
no, I only lied one big time, got in major trouble. Those little, no, I didn't watch TV. That is a lie, but it wasn't like of much consequence. Go ahead, Mom.
I was thinking the same thing. I didn't want to call you out, but I was thinking.
She said I'm busted.
You're busted. Yeah, something I wanted to talk about also, because I've been watching your podcasts and listening to people talk about joy. But I also want to recognize that, and I know you ask people, well, when you're feeling down, or what do you tell somebody when they're feeling down? I do want to say, and I have this in my notes.
Shout out to Daria for the glasses.
Thank you, Daria. They're really cool. Thank you. Very nice. I wanted to say that joy is kind of like, it can be the other side of grief or the other side of loss. And that when you experience loss or grief, the small things in life that can bring you joy help you get through it or help you live with it. Even if it's a little bit wistful or nostalgic or sad, it's all those little things. It's all the sense of wonder you can still get from something, or a perfume or aroma that takes you back to a beautiful memory. And I think that that oftentimes, even getting through grief, remembering the beautiful aspects of whatever it is that you lost, if you dwell on that, it helps you move through it. It becomes so you're able to maintain what you lost, the happiness of it or the goodness of it, and it enriches you moving forward. But I do believe that it's not always easy to be joyful, but that finding those things that do make you happy, such as for me, it's in nature, it's in the arts, it's in poetry. I love poetry. Mary Oliver, I love her. She's a poet. Writes a lot about nature and simple things, relationships. She has one poem, I think it's called Summer Day or something, and her last line, she's talking about the grasshoppers and the grass, but I mean, it's beautifully done. Mm-hmm. And I think her last line, it's become the last line, I think. It's, tell me, what are you doing with your one and only precious life, or precious wildlife? Like, what are you doing with yourself? So things like that, like bring you back into the present and help you transcend even the sadness or the grief or the difficulties, and it helps you maintain that link with joy.
It's interesting because I shared it on my Instagram. I don't know if you saw it. It was like the older Indian man, and he was talking about joy, and he was basically saying that joy is presence, is being present, and that because everything else is a memory. And so he was saying, like, you could have all these nice fancy things, and then God forbid you get in a car accident, you lose your memory. You don't know what car is yours anymore. All you have is that moment to be present. and that is where you find joy. It is in presence, which is really interesting because he was like, everything else is a memory. So it's about, and that is also, I think, about why joy is constantly having to be created and worked on, because if not, it's like life, it too is fleeting. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's Sad Guru. Exactly.
What is it?
His name is Sad Guru. I'll send it to you, Mom.
I think he popped up on my YouTube the other day, like randomly. He has a really long beard.
The internet's
Right?
be listening, Mom. You probably said something
I'm
and then it like
telling you,
tuned
I'm
in.
like, where did he come from? You know, there was this one talk by, and he only talked like 3 minutes, and I clicked to keep watching, but it was then an ad came on or the next YouTube thing came on. It wouldn't let me see more, but I did.
No,
And
he's great because I feel like he's like really to the point, and it is very thought provoking, Alex. And I was like, wow, because I was thinking about that, and I think it is the like, how am I constantly creating this joy? But I like that my mom like called it beauty too, because, and the idea of beauty, not something being pretty, but something coming together and making you feel some type of way.
Yeah, I think it's that sense of wonder also. Like it's when you see something or smell something or eat something, and it's just so amazing, and it just strikes you. It's that sense of wonder, and it just transcends. It pulls you out of the quagmire of all the negativity that might be surrounding you or that might be trying to pull you down.
So do
And
you feel like cell phones, like how do you feel like disconnecting is important to be able to do that?
disconnecting to do what? To
Like disconnecting from our phones to be able to look, because it's interesting. I remember like a few years ago, we were talking about speaking, children speaking, because I didn't speak till I was, how old, Mom? I was old.
3 and some.
Yeah, like, yeah, my mom was actually possibly
Three,
concerned that I was having like maybe I was gonna have special needs or have, like a
maybe 3 years
speech.
old.
What'd you
Maybe
say,
three
Mom?
years old. About 3,
Right.
because
And
you didn't need to talk. I mean, you had. I mean, you just kind of wandered around doing what you wanted. Oh, by the way, about being joyful, you wanted me to corroborate that.
yes.
This is like, I have to admit, I lost Maud twice. Okay, which is why she said she ended up on that neon leash at some point. But anyway, one time we were in a department store and we were all together, and all of a sudden, where's Maud? And she was probably 3. Where's Maud? Where's Maud? Like, I thought you were watching her. I thought you were watching her. So we go to the Lost and Found or whatever. I mean, we go to where they send us. And there she is, sitting on this woman's lap in the customer service. 3 years old, just having a cute little happy moment with this woman. And she sees us and she smiles at us and keeps talking to this woman with smiles and laughter. like she was totally comfortable. And then another time we were at Virginia Beach on the 4th of July weekend, where there's like 1 million people on the beach. And Maud's playing at water's edge, and we're near the water's edge. And, she's right in front of us, and we're watching. And all of a sudden, Maud's not there. I don't know how you got that far away from us without us knowing. That's parents.
Y'all didn't care about me.
Parents. I don't know, it's sunstroke or whatever. Anyway, you had guardian angels looking after you. Anyway, Maud had kept looking up and seeing our blue and white striped umbrella and thinking, oh, my parents are there, I'm good. But she kept kind of shifting. And anyway, she ended up lost. So she walked up to one of the lifeguards and says, I can't find my parents or whatever. So, they have this walkie-talkie thing, and, we found it. But she climbed up with a lifeguard and was up there with him, happy and chatting, no tears, no panic, like telling her stories. I think she was about 6. And a little girl came, oh, I'm lost. And Maud was like, the lifeguard told me, she calmed the little girl down and said, it's fine. You're going to have a good time. You come and join us. Anyway.
What I remember being lost at that time was you and Chloe like Baywatch running towards me.
Baywatch.
Because
Yeah,
I had gone like a whole lifeguard station away.
I didn't want to say that because it makes me look like a really bad parent. But yeah, you had.
I mean, hey, I made it. I survived. I remember you and Chloe Baywatch running towards me, looking concerned, and I'm like,
But yeah, no, Maud was always a joyful baby, and
Chloe said now I started talking at 3, and I haven't stopped since.
This is true.
Oh no, but that goes back to what I was saying, Mom. I remember you said that when I was a baby and all of us were babies, because there was no cell phones at the time, you would talk to us like full conversation in the grocery store, like as if you were talking to your friends.
Yes.
Like,
okay.
Talk
in
to me
terms
like
of
an adult.
in terms of parenting and cell phones, and in terms of kids and cell phones and all of that. Okay, thank God you were born before that. But anyway.
Well, that's really nice to the parents who have kids now.
No. I'm saying for me, like, thank God I didn't have to deal with it. But I did watch the progression of it as it slowly became an issue. Okay, if you're out with your kids, you do not need to be on the phone just chatting away with your girlfriends or whatever, or like unimportant chatter. Okay, oops, I don't mean to be like lecturing.
No, Mom, keep it real. It's the Maudcast. You can keep it real. Keep it 100.
But when you're out with your child, when you are with your child, be with your child. It's okay to have one or two to have some conversations, of course, but
and you mean texting and on the phone.
You need to, pardon?
I said, to clarify, you mean like texting and on the phone.
Yeah, on the cell phone while you're out grocery shopping. No, because that child, even that young child of 2 or 3 or 4, you need to tell them what the names of the fruits are and engage them and ask them the colors and what do you think? Do you like this one? Do you like? I mean, you need to be talking to them, because what's going to happen when parents are doing that to their kids are going to very quickly learn to live their own lives without you as parents, and they will not. You'll be like, what happened to my kid? They don't love me. They don't talk to me. Well, because, you ignored them. Also,
well, Lenny, there's your parenting tip.
Also, I have a friend, because I didn't have to deal with this, who had when he told me this, his children were about 11 and 13. And I've heard this elsewhere. I'm sure a lot of parents have heard this. When the kids go to bed, there is a basket that all the electronics have to go into it, or better yet, what makes more sense is that there is a central charging station, like in the living room or whatever, and everybody's electronics all get plugged into those charging stations in the living room, and you're going to bed, you have nothing. You have no laptop, you have no cell phone, and you have no
I loved that. The central charging. We learned
the central charging is
was brilliant. Yeah, for all the parents listening, central charging, have one place in like the living room or family room, something that's not the kid's bedroom, where you have a surge protector and everything gets charged together. So your kids aren't in the nighttime just doing whatever.
Yeah, because my friend just had them turn them in, but then I heard this charging thing recently on the radio. Somebody mentioned that, and I thought,
no, Mom, it was at Tap Into the Future. It was at the cyber safety class.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the radio.
I knew it wasn't. Yeah, okay. I've been listening to a lot of radio. I listen to a lot of NPR and the French radio, and I've been learning. It's been.
Do you think, Mom?
That's
this is a question I had written for you. Do you think that French people, like as a culture, are more joyful than Americans? Or what do you think is the difference culturally? You know what I mean? Just with the approach of life? Because I feel like French people are so like philosophical and cerebral. And of course I'm generalizing and these are stereotypes. But overall, what do you feel, you know what I mean, the difference? Like when I am in France or Paris, I feel like everything's so beautiful and people do stop to look at the Seine or go to the museum. Whereas in America, it is beautiful, but people are just like on their phones. Do you find a difference?
Well, I think there's an appreciation. Well, there's definitely a different kind of appreciation for food. You know, like
Like croissants.
like in France, and I think throughout the European Union, GMO products are forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really serious about the quality of food. And GMO, for anyone who, it's genetically modified
Is it
organisms,
organisms?
or
I think it's
maybe it's organisms,
organisms.
but it's fruits and vegetables and animals that have been, genetically changed, and oftentimes that's not really a good. It's bad. It's not
Mm-hmm.
good. Sometimes it can be good, but uh, I think they appreciate food better. They tend to. They definitely still have a culture where people are sitting around the dinner table more. I mean, lives are
Mm.
changing. Lives are changing. This is COVID. Everybody's home for dinner,
Right, 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 right.
but on the regular. Um, so they take more time for eating and for preparing food and for shopping for food, and there's a sense, maybe that's also where I get the sort of sense of some kind of beauty, because they like things to look a certain way, to be aesthetically pleasing
Like how
to.
Aya makes us take out the takeout food and put it on a real plate.
Yeah, little things like that. um, um,
So I have a
there's
question for
the,
you, Mom. This is a deep question. And I ask you this because when my friends are going through this now, which is crazy that I'm at an age where this is happening to some of my friends, but I always say, call my mom. She is a great resource for this. And the question is that after divorce, so which is like a big loss, society can view it as a failure, even though we know that's not what it is. After something like divorce, how do you rebuild and how do you find joy again in your own life as an individual, as a single person, and then single mom as well?
I think every situation is different.
Mm-hmm.
Every situation is different, but I felt that it was a lot about survival, but the satisfaction that I got, not the satisfaction, but being able to provide what I needed and to pay the bills and to make it work was rewarding in and of itself, to see that I could do it. It was, I don't want to get too candid, because, but it was difficult. I think I was working 3 jobs at some point, but it wasn't like 3 8-hour jobs. I was teaching, and then I had a proofreading job that was on the side, and
Waitressing.
waitressing.
And
So
we and all three of us had jobs.
yeah, Maud had a job when she was 11.
I was 8.
Yeah.
I quit when I was 11.
Excuse me.
You made me quit
Um,
when I was 11.
I wonder why. Anyway, maybe,
Because you said I
yeah,
was getting, you said I was, I'm really, again, good parenting. I swept hair at a barber shop. And as soon as I got 11, which is like, puberty-ish time, my mom was like, all right, this is a weird space for you to be in, just around all these men. And the men are amazing there. And we still love everybody at the barbershop. They were amazing. They helped us so much. But then my mom was like, it's just not like a really safe space mentally and stuff to be for a 11-year-old girl. So that's why. But then I started working at the mall.
yeah, no, yeah. So in terms of the post-divorce, getting back to that, it was it was a chance for me to. It was sort of liberating for me,
Mm-hmm.
because it was a chance for me to do what I thought was right for you guys, and provide the basic necessities, but also provide opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So back to a question you asked earlier. I think I provided structure, like discipline structure, but I also, and it goes back to trust, I provided some discipline and structure, but I also, as I saw you were able to, I would give you extra space. So I've used this term before. So your wings could spread until you could soar on your own. And I think that's the balance to look for. Oh, I did have my, no, you're not going to do that. Chloe, I think Chloe, when she started high school, I'm going to go for pom-poms or cheerleading. I said, you're not going to be cheerleading a group of guys. You're going to go out and do the sport yourself. Thank you. And so
That is definitely an accurate what my mom said, what our mom said to Chloe. And look at it now. Like imagine, and no diss or anything to people who cheerleaders. No diss, but my mom was like, no. And imagine had Chloe done that, we probably wouldn't be in the space we are today as leaders. And my mom said the same thing to me when I was in middle school. I was like, Mom, I'm going to be the basketball team manager. And my mom was like, no, you are not. She was like, you going to play basketball, or you going to do something else. You're not going to sit around writing things, scores down and getting the boys water. Like, please.
And again, it's not to say anything wrong with it. And certainly cheerleading and pom-poms today is like a whole different art form now. I mean, back then it was just like, you know,
right.
Wasn't like, so it's not, I think that was just something I had ingrained in me. And that was partly coming from friends where you don't have that, you know.
Right.
You don't have cheerleaders.
I also think it probably came from a place of a woman just gaining her independence. Yeah. And like, why would I then put that on my daughter to kind of not do what I'm trying to do right now?
Yeah, it was kind of, it was
something. Chloe wrote, thank goodness. Mom, I think, Mom, because we only have like 5 minutes left, I think we have to do a part 2. Maybe you can be the Maudcast guest next week to kick off the new year. Woo. And then you can share some of the poetry and specific things that help you find joy now.
That would be lovely.
What advice do you have? What advice do you have for people going into the new year? For joy, to find joy if they're struggling a bit right now.
Well, we just entered the age of Aquarius, which is
I don't even know what that
means. It's the way the sky and the earth and the universe is moving. And so we just exited the age of what's construction, Capricorn, I believe. It's like the material, like the solid man-made built world. And we're entering a world of sort of more ethereal ideas and feelings and so forth. And so I think to nurture that within yourself, and to not be afraid of going within and being quiet and seeing and trying to find that inner, thing, well, even without, to see what is it that's presenting you with wonder, or sometimes listening to different casts where people are exploring interesting ideas. Like NPR has really good ones. There's one called On Being that I like a lot. And Hidden Brain has fantastic, it's a podcast. It has fantastic concepts and ideas. And
I didn't even know you listened to podcasts besides mine.
Well, actually, I listen to them on the radio on NPR, and then if I want to catch up on an old one, I want to catch up on it, I go back. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, sorry, Maud, but yeah,
it's okay. Mom, people are requesting a part 2, even a part 3, and then 2 people have requested for Aya to do the Maudcast. If Aya does the podcast, you have to do it with her because you have to help her.
I will be there to help her.
Yes.
I will do that.
Yes.
I will do that. Yes.
So, Mom, going into the new year, how are you going to make sure that you are feeling joyful every day? What are the things that you are going to work on? I don't like to use the New Year's resolution idea because I think that everybody breaks their resolutions and it's ridiculous. I think it's like habits that are important. I think it's creating a lifestyle of joy. So how entering 2021, what are you doing for yourself?
Giving myself that inner space and the quiet that I need. I need that. And learning, focusing on being more like a duck with water and letting negativity just not be absorbed, but flow off of me like water off of a duck.
I love that.
And, because it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you. And so that's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that you hear that a million times, but that's a hard one to actually put into your own experience. So that's what I'm working on.
I love that. Mom, our friend Philly said, can you write quotes for her?
Yeah. What does she mean by like quotes of
Like how
things
you
I
said, be
read
like
in
a
life?
duck, let the negativity flow off. What'd you say? Yes, guys, everybody encourage our mom to do her art, her poetry, and her wonderings of the world.
Yeah.
One of our friends, Monique, is on here, Mom, from DC, and she said, wow, her spirit is still the same.
Oh, thank you, Monique. That's so sweet.
And she's an amazing mom of 3, so she understands.
Congrats. Yay.
Yes, I know.
Good.
It's so great. So, Mom, guess what? So now, after the Maudcast today, somebody said write a book.
That's been a wish for years, and Tadeo has been asking me to do that also.
You
And
need to do it.
I do. And
huh?
one of the reasons that I want to aspire to that quiet and inner self and not letting that negativity robs you of your life,
Mm-hmm.
even other people's negativity. So that's what I'm recognizing. And so that I open the space for myself to do that.
I love that. Our friend Alex said you should call it happenings.
I like my happenings and
yeah.
That's good. Thank you, Alex.
Mom, Alex is the mother of the little girl Emma, who we all say reminds us of Chloe.
Oh, that sweet little girl.
Yes.
With the tap shoes.
Yes. The one with the curly hair.
Yes.
Yes. No, Mom. So I do a flash round of questions, and since we'll be picking this back up next Monday, which will be the first Monday of the year, and this time next week, Mom, I'll let you explore your notes. So it'll be like the Maudcast, Maud's Mom's edition. So we'll follow your lead next week. But now I have a flash round of questions, which means you have to answer them fast. Okay. Okay. City that brings you joy.
Anything in Italy.
Oh yeah, we had fun in Venice. Food that brings you joy.
Thanks to Maya. Just going in the fridge and pulling out everything vegetarian and just making something fantabulous with it.
I'm gonna have to share that quote with her. A singer that brings you joy.
A singer, I really like Michael Franks. He's a singer from the 70s, 80s. He plays a guitar. You've never heard of him. Nope. When I play him, he brings me joy. His voice is very special, very different. And I don't know why I'm like blanking right now. But if we can say music,
Uh-huh.
And also, I will add Ben Williams. Listening
Whose
to
show
his
is
music brings
next?
me joy.
I
Pardon?
said Ben Williams' birthday show is today, right after the Maudcast.
Wow. Great.
Online. Everybody
I'm
has to
happy.
go
It
to
was his birthday.
benwilliamsmusic.net, and it's free. It's free.
It
Mom
was his
Gabrina said
birthday
she loves
yesterday.
you.
I love you, Gabrina. Thank you so much.
Mom, people that bring you
Gabrina is
joy.
our fantastic doctor friend, huh?
People that bring you joy. These are flash fire questions.
My 3 children.
Thank you. That was, if you had said it wrong, I was just going to cut you off. I was just going to turn off the live.
What?
And then leave us all, Mom. Leave everybody. First of all, before we get off, everybody go to Ben Williams, who my mom just said is one of her favorites, who brings her joy. He has a free concert. I just put the link in here, and you can watch it on your computer. It's free. Go to benwilliamsmusic.net. He
He's
also
an
produced the
amazing
modified
jazz.
theme
Okay,
song.
he's a Grammy Award winner, and he's an amazing jazz bassist. I think bassist is the right word.
Yes.
Bass.
And it's his birthday.
I'm excited.
So, Mom, what is a quote that you want to leave everybody with?
My own quote?
Anything, a quote, your own, or something you heard, something to send us off into the last week of 2020 the right way.
Life without music is a mistake, by Nietzsche.
Life without music is a mistake. Thank you for joining me. Everybody give it up for my mom. It's her first IG Live. You did great. No tech issues. You did amazing. You did awesome. Everybody, we'll be back next week with my mom, with the mom edition, because she had a lot of notes that she did not get to go through. So we will be following my mom's lead to lead us into joy for 2021. Thank you all so much for joining. Mom, thank you for being an amazing guest. You did great. You need to write your book. And the best way to start writing the book is listen back to this, Mom, and take notes for yourself about what you said. That's a great way to start.
That's brilliant.
Yes. Everybody have a wonderful week.
Thank you. And
thank you. Don't forget what should they do, Mom? They should modify their day.
Modify your day by changing one little thing to turn your day joyful.
Thank you. Love you, Mom. Bye.
Love you too, Maudie Poo. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.